Hi, Brian. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good, good. What time is it on your end there?
Oh, it's just past 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're 2 hours ahead. It's 4 p.m. here, PST. So I see a couple people watching now. So say hi, let us know where you're from, and then feel free to ask questions. We have the revenue coach here. So ask any question you want about growing and making lots of money, okay? Okay.
and
Okay,
then
so
and then they can work with you to manage that money in the best way.
all right, yeah, you let make them make more money, then they come to you to manage the money. Okay, so so instead of me introducing you and messing up some things, why don't you introduce yourself so I don't miss anything?
Oh, no worries, no worries. I appreciate you having me on, and
Hmm.
I'm very humbled. So I just wanted to say that what you've been doing on LinkedIn since we
Okay.
met has been amazing. But
Hmm.
anyway, I'm Bryan McDonald. I'm a partner at On Purpose Growth, and On Purpose Growth is a coaching and consulting firm that serves clients who have ambitious yearly or multi-year revenue goals actually fulfill that ambition. On the coaching side, I'm working with entrepreneurs, and on the consulting side, we work with entrepreneurial-led businesses of 10 million or more in revenue.
Wow, that's a lot. So you said entrepreneur. So do you normally work with solopreneur or like do you have a specific niche or?
I appreciate you asking that question. What I find over the years and developed was the people that work with us and get the best results are what I call like a corporate reject. They left corporate America. They were displaced for some reason, or they chose to actually leave. They found
Mm-hmm.
themselves in entrepreneurship, and
Mm-hmm.
they have a really good technical skill. So they're an expert at what they do, and sales just isn't their cup of tea. And we have a really good track
Oh.
record of helping those people not only um, grow their revenue, but eventually scale the business past themselves.
Got it, got it. So I like that you said corporate reject. So these are
Mm-hmm.
people who doesn't want to be in corporation. Like, oh, okay. So I'm a corporate reject then.
Oh, okay. Me
I I
too. Me too.
I'm unemployable.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. Okay, so cool. So when they leave their job, let's say they just left their job and then they just started whatever venture in entrepreneurship they are. Is it the right time to come to you right away when they just started, or like when is the process of their journey perfect fit for them to come see you?
Uh, it depends, right?
Okay.
There's people who we've helped them launch their business, or then there's other people who have been established for a couple of years. I guess the most important thing is they have an actual this is kind of going to what you do, a
Mm-hmm.
financial foundation that allows them to actually make progress. And here's what I mean by that is I work with a lot of people who have their first handful of clients. They're
Mm-hmm.
paying their bills, making some type of profit, but they just can't get over that hump of getting, more clients, or
Oh.
or somebody who has prepared themselves to get into entrepreneurship. So they know, like, hey, if I don't get a client for 3 months, that's okay. Or
Mm-hmm.
they're what I found to be true is people actually leave corporate America because they have a client, so that can thrust them into entrepreneurship.
Oh, got it, got it. Oh, cool, cool. And I know you were mentioning about like the top 1% income earner
Oh,
skills. Like, what did you mean by that? Like the top 1% in
uh,
company or? Mhm.
when you look at the people that earn top 1% income as a sales role, and
Ah,
I'll state an entrepreneur that starts their own consulting or service based business, they're in sales mode and delivery mode, right? So they
yep.
would fall in that bucket. And when you look at all those people that earn that type of income, they do things in specific ways. They show up in the world in specific ways, and they approach business in a specific way. So all I've done is gathered all of these skills, strategies, and tactics, and help people actually implement them. And one of the things is there's a myth out there that when you have to go into this salesperson mode to sell, and I don't believe that to be true.
Okay.
What I know to be true is that if you show up authentically in your business and in front of your prospects, and you're actually there to serve them versus selling them, you will be able to sell more.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that your process of selling. So okay. So how do you sell without selling?
Well,
So that's how you're saying, right? By just having an authentic conversation, so you're not really selling. Okay.
thank you for asking that, and I should have made that clear. It's a difference between selling and serving. Um,
Okay.
so, uh, so a lot of times, salespeople or people in the sales mode get stuck selling the thing that they sell or the service that they provide,
Mm-hmm.
when prospects and clients are not buying that, they're buying the help that they need. So being able to switch into or develop, I should say, a meaningful process that allows you to serve people instead of doing a bunch of transactions. When you look at the top 1%, a majority of those people actually operate in sales and show up in the world that way.
Oh, okay, okay. I like that. So serving. So I correct me if I'm doing something wrong. So I'm gonna share with people like so when I talk to a lead, like whether they come on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn or everywhere else. So when so this is what some sales coach taught me before too. So they're all about like when I'm talking to them at the end of the call is to actually make sure they pay before I close the call. So I don't know. I tried that. So I tried that, but then like I didn't feel it didn't make me feel good. Like I feel like I'm trying to also didn't feel natural for me. So I went back to how it felt better for me, felt natural was that I make sure that I listen to what they need, what they want, what are they really looking for, and then I tell them, hey, if you're interested, just let me know. And usually the people are very interested, they come back to me because I used to follow up a lot, but what I found out was that most people ghost you, and then it didn't make me feel
Yeah.
good when it just tell me no. I mean, how hard is it to say you're not interested? But anyway, so you can believe people would just rather just like quiet versus telling you no because maybe they're afraid or
Yeah.
whatever reason. So I just got tired of it. I felt like it was draining on my spirit. So I just said I'm not gonna follow up unless I kind of know instinctively like this person might show up. Then if they haven't come back to me in a week, then I'll just follow up. And typically they show up because they just forgot or whatever. But
Yeah.
most of the time I let them sign up. So I kind of just went that way. And then so I don't know if you have a better process like when you're talking to leads. Do you like typically try to close it right then, or do you have multiple lead calls?
So I guess the whole mindset that
Mhm.
I use that works for me, and it's worked for a lot of clients, is that process starts at the beginning of when you initially engage with them, and should continue through the whole thing. And um, price should be a natural next step in paying. So I have a firm belief that prospects want to tell us exactly what to offer them,
Okay.
and when an offer is made, you should be 90% sure that they actually will accept that offer. So the clients that get the best results have told me that when they like use proposals as an example, when they actually draw out and get clarity on what should be in a proposal, what things are going to get done, what milestones are going to get hit, what the pricing is, prior to actually putting it on paper, uh, they have a high percentage of an acceptance rate, because all the details of that have been worked out, and giving a
Mhm.
prospect a proposal is just a formality.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Right.
So
So no
you
surprises. So no surprises, right?
got it. Got it. So you have to really listen, and then like, okay, so basically you have to have a great intake form, and then like you're able to answer everything they need, and then typically they say, oh, I can meet their needs, I can help them, then most likely they will probably close it with you, right then. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And some people, but also sometimes people take more than one.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
more than one meeting, right? It's finding
Yep.
out, like, knowing, here's the information that I need to find out. Here's the information
Hmm.
that they need,
Hmm.
and figure out how to provide that to them. So
Hmm.
paying or saying yes is just a natural next step.
Got it. Elizabeth says hello if you know
Hey,
her.
Elizabeth. Yeah.
Who's that girl
I
from
see it
Texas?
popping up in the window over here. So I don't know how to point, but
Yeah, yeah. So no, this is a cool app. Like you can literally see the live comment on the right side. Before you can't see the LinkedIn. See, I can't even pull it right now. I can pull it to the screen.
oh,
Before
yeah,
you can't even do that. So this is a really cool app. So
that is
before,
cool.
like I had to like even open and read the comments from the others. So they up. This is a really great upgrade. So
I
thanks,
have to
Elizabeth,
say,
for
I
joining.
have to say that
Huh?
I have LinkedIn Live envy, where I'm envious that you have this because I really want it.
Did you try to apply for it?
I have.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
So,
you have to keep applying. I think
oh, really?
for some people you have to, or yeah. So I'll
Okay.
tell you how I did it my way. Okay. So
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
okay. So okay. Why do you think common sales thinking doesn't really work? Like, what do you mean by sales? What do you mean by this thinking?
So, um, people are more solution um, focused than problem focused. So, a lot of times, um, the actual problem isn't established. So, when people come up with solutions, they may not work, or they may not work to the level that they want,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go through just all these solutions. So here's what I mean by that is, uh, people will come to me and say, hey, I just need to generate more leads. I just need more leads and I'll make more money. And
Ah,
I
yep.
say, okay,
Yep.
if that's the solution, what's the problem?
Got
And
it.
they look at me like, what are you talking about? Like, well,
Yeah.
generating more leads is a solution to a specific problem. So
Mm-hmm.
when you establish the actual problem and you have grounding to that, you can make a better assessment on what steps to take. So when you do take that step, it's more effective.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So William, William always show up on my live. Thanks, William, for popping on. So he
Hey,
said, I think that what Brian is saying is that you have to really understand the client company to the point of helping them to go in the right direction, even if it isn't with you. I landed a job retraining civilian personnel on what was then the world's largest nuclear sub base in Charleston, simply by answering questions with the truth, even when it really wasn't in my favor. Oh, okay. Good. Thank you for explaining that.
that's
Um,
great. I agree 100% with William. I mean, it's
mhm,
detaching from the outcome and
mhm.
doing what's best for the person on the other end. And a lot of times it actually works out in your favor, but it's just showing up in
Yeah.
meetings and in the world in front of prospects like that.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things about leads when they come to me is that they're looking for someone for investment advice. So
Ah,
I focus on investment education. So I don't give specific investment recommendation, like for example, how to do your retirement, how to
mhm.
whatever to allocate it or stuff. So I most of the time I had to refer them out. So I luckily I have some friends I can refer them out. So like you have to be upfront and honest what you can and cannot do, right? Because otherwise then you go through the process, they're like, oh, I thought you could help me with this, and then later on they can't
Yeah,
help you, they'll be very disappointed. So yeah, so and then William said it comes down to trust. Yes, that's very true. And then he said, in other cases, my Fortune 500 clients only retain me after months of ongoing follow-up and collaborative effort, designing solutions which I wasn't always able to provide. In those cases, I would help them find other vendors. Good job, William.
Yeah, that's
You guys
amazing.
should connect
I
after.
know. Send me a connection request, William. I love it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, William Bryan posts regular posts. He's always showing out, so you might like some of his content. Okay. So you said, okay, identify problems to fix things versus throwing solutions against the wall to see.
Yeah. I guess
I'm
it's what we
laughing.
just talked
It's like
about.
you're like dumping. What's the sticky thing you throw in the in on the
Spaghetti?
wall?
Spaghetti?
No, there's this like when I was a kid, I was like playing with this
Oh,
sticky thing and you throw to the
yeah,
wall
like
and then
the
you see
glob
the stick.
stuff.
Yeah,
Kind of.
that
My
reminds me of that when you said.
my wife makes that with my kids. It's like
Uh-huh.
slime or something. They can
Yeah,
make that in the kitchen. It's interesting, and I
yeah.
find
So
it on my walls.
as long as they don't damage your work and stuff.
Exactly.
All right. So what did you mean by this? So identify problems to fix things versus just throwing solutions.
Yeah, that's. I think I went a little too fast using that example in the prior question. It's uh, we as humans are really bad at making assessments. So we just come to conclusions really fast without identifying core issues. And I actually learned this from my business partner Jeff, who it's systems thinking. It's understanding, not siloing solutions to specific areas. It's understanding the bigger picture and how that solution fits into it. And sometimes you come to the assessment that the solution you came up with actually isn't going to help you. It's going to
Mhm.
hurt you. And until you apply thinking about it this way, you don't get that clarity. And two, that's clarity. It's getting clarity of why this solution, why you're choosing it, how it solves the problem,
Mhm.
and what impact you're trying to make with it. So I don't think people. I think it's just developing the thinking. I don't
Mhm.
think that it's not done. I think it's not developed and brought out enough.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So it seems like you're very good with this sales, with this money, making money stuff. So, I'm curious to know. I know you share a little bit, about like, how what was your story around money? I know you didn't like you grew up with parents who like they went through bankrupt. So that must have motivated you to like really be good with money later, right? So if you don't mind just sharing that, like what how did you grow up around money?
Yeah, and if I get too long-winded, this is a crazy, complicated story.
It's
Stop
okay.
me, right? Stop me. So I didn't have good examples, and
Mhm.
I fell into traps, right? So I my parents have been divorced since I was one. Like you said, they like I mentioned to you, they both were bankrupt as I was going up and growing
Wow.
up. And when I got to high school, I was working 30 hours a week just to almost provide for myself.
Wow.
It's not like it's not like it didn't give me anything. I was like, well, if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to buy a car, I'm going to do this, I'm going to develop that money for myself. And I
Yeah.
developed a work ethic around it. But
Mhm.
the missing part was I could generate it, but I could spend it as fast as I could
Mhm.
generate it. So I
Wow.
actually had to learn through time and ultimately failure, not judging myself,
Mhm.
and learn how to do this. So in 2006, 2007, I was in the mortgage industry,
Oh.
and my career was on the rise. I had some employees. I was doing well, and my business crashed with the mortgage market. So that was the greatest lesson in
Mhm.
regards to money and managing that I ever had, and I'm grateful for it. It wasn't pleasant, but it has taught me that I need to budget. I need to save for unexpected things. I need to
Mhm.
consistently pay attention to it to the point where I've got two things. What I've got a monthly budget that
Mhm.
I pay attention to, and the second thing is a concept I learned called the money map. And I
Oh.
literally actually. This is it, right? I've got a calendar. Oh,
Oh, cool.
I got a
Oh,
calendar,
okay.
And what I do on a monthly basis is I write down what my goal is to generate this month. And
Mm-hmm.
then I write down the dates that I expect money to come in. So we've got clients that
Mm-hmm.
pay us on a regular
Yeah,
basis.
yeah.
I write down on that, and then I track of the amount of money I've received
Mm-hmm.
and my goal and the gap to it. So I'm constantly aware of what type of gap I need to
Mm-hmm.
fill on a monthly basis. So I'm not only managing it to keep it through a budget, I'm using this money map to actually generate more of it.
Got it. Got I love that because then see us entrepreneurs like we don't know how we don't have a steady paycheck, right? It's not like fixed. Okay, you can get $5,000 a month, 6,000. So you have to hustle. I think like us entrepreneurs, we have to hustle. Like I mean, some people don't like don't like the hustling mentality, and then so it's not for them. Then they have to be employees. So I love that. Like for me, like I know how much I need to break even. So I
Mm-hmm.
for the minimum I need to make that, so
Mm-hmm.
then everything else will be profit. So we have to always like, okay, how much are we making now? Are we on target? So it's like first week, second week. So we have to be on track. If you don't have a goal, because I know friends who's like in the entrepreneurship and they're like, oh yeah, they quit their job and then they're like, oh, they think like money's gonna come in or clients are gonna come in, and then they keep investing in new coaches, new program, and then I'm like, are you making money now on your sales? Like maybe they need your help. I should just direct them to you to just make money. So it's like they don't think about that. You have to constantly be like that. And then like for some of my clients who actually some of them got they got like 20% cut or whatever. So
Oh yeah.
now some of them they're not able to live anymore. So then I said then okay, then you're gonna need to find a side job or whatever. So that's pretty much the life of an entrepreneur too. We don't know. So now you need to hustle. You need to figure out what can you sell at home, a side job, whatever. You might have to do VA work or some sort of like
Mm-hmm.
remote job or something just to get by in the meantime, right? So yeah, I love that. I love what you're doing. That's a really good exercise. Like you kind of visualize, you have a goal, you
Mm-hmm.
have a plan, and of course like it's easier for you to get there when you have a goal, right? You know the number you want, and then you're gonna push for it. So I love that. Oh, someone said money map. That's pretty cool. Who
Well,
said that?
and I
Oh,
think it's something that you talked about too, which I think is important if we're going to talk about this topic.
mhm.
And I know you are just an expert at this. Is you have to have a relationship with money, right? And
Exactly.
and it
Yep.
has to be a good relationship. It
Yes.
can't be it can't be
Yeah.
a relationship of lack and a relationship of what's I'm looking for, scarcity, right? The reason why I
Yes.
do that money map is
Yep.
so
Yep.
so I see where I'm going and bring more of it in
Mhm.
versus a negative, like I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, I'm not making it, I
Mhm.
don't have enough money, right? That helps when I
Exactly.
used to think like that helped me not make money.
Yeah, exactly. Because you keep thinking it. Like, well,
Mm-hmm.
you guys don't realize it. That's how law of attraction works. If you keep thinking of something too much, like you're changing your vibration, then you are attracting most of what you think. So, like for example, like I had one client, like her money script was making money is hard. So
Oh.
because like she felt like all her years of working, she had to work really long hours, 50 hours, whatever, or at least 50 minimum or 60, that just to make money. So it's very hard for her to reprogram now that she's an entrepreneur, that she has to work so many hours to make money. So when I tried to teach her, it's like making money is easy, it was very hard for her to grasp. Like, that doesn't ring true for me. So we had to work on something else to heal that. And also like another affirmations, like I'm learning to make more money. Like I'm learning, ways to make more money. So other things that she can connect to. So that's very true. And then like when I quit my job, Brian, it was like I get so much backlash from like people thinking like,
Oh yeah.
I mean like I need like like okay, so financial advisor, like people who manage well, they have a recurring revenue, right? Because they have
Mm-hmm.
clients all the time. So for me, my business model is on having new clients. So some of them are not comfortable to have to have new clients every single month. But then like when I was looking at it, like for me to be profitable, I need only 4 to 5 new clients a month, right? Plus I have other things as well. So then it's like if you think about it, if I multiply over the lifetime, like I was doing multiply, so it's I need about 2,000 new clients over the lifetime till I retire. Well, quote unquote, retired 70,
Yeah.
but I retire. But I might get one or two new clients. I mean, what's 2,000 clients in U.S., even Bay Area,
Right.
California, my city? Like, that's nothing, right? So you have to
Nothing.
think there's plenty of people out there. Like, there's plenty for everybody. There's no need to compete. Like, I mean, I might not, be no, not everybody might like me, whatever. But it's like I only need 2,000, so there's only so much you can handle, right, for one person.
Yeah,
So.
and this is funny as I'm thinking of this is what's running across the bottom there. Your story around money. It's not necessarily like the backstory. It's literally what story are you telling yourself. So I used to when I was explaining I was making money
Mhm.
and then just spending it. It
Mhm.
was because I had a narrative going on in my mind about my life that said, you're going to work really hard and still not have money. So, what did I do?
Oh.
I fulfilled that by going and spending it all.
Oh, see? Yes, yes. So did you hear that, guys? So can you repeat that again, Brian, so people can hear that?
The whole thing.
Yeah, that particular thing. You said that what made you spend more.
Oh, so I had a story, an internal
Mm-hmm.
story about my
Yep.
life that said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to work really hard to make money and not
Mm-hmm.
actually have money, right? No matter how hard I work,
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
still not going to have money because
Mm-hmm.
what I watched from my parents were
Mm-hmm.
that exact story. They worked
Mm-hmm.
really hard. My dad worked two jobs when I was in high school,
Wow.
and it just seemed like we still didn't have money. And when he
Wow.
he actually lost his full-time job going from my junior year into senior year, where I was on the football team and I stopped playing football because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to work more. So I had
Mm-hmm.
this, like, I saw that narrative going on, and then I applied that narrative in my life, and I just literally lived it out.
Wow, wow. Yeah, I'm actually wrote the timestamp because I'm gonna get this video clip to
Uh,
actually share because like that is great. I love hearing people's money script, especially my guests, and like how have you learned that? So how did you push through that money script? Like how did you transform that? Because now you're doing well now with money. Like
yeah,
what clicked for you?
I had to get sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I
Uh,
th- I think more people have to feel too sick and tired of being sick and tired.
yeah, it just I just made the decision that I'm going to change my story, and I made the decision that I'm actually going to change and commit to it. And when I committed to it, and I was doing the things that I needed to do, I started seeing the changes that I look for, and then I just had to continue to develop it. I think it's a never-ending process
Yep.
because as you make, or I'll own it. As I make more money, I magically discover how to spend more money, right? Like, and I have to say no, I'm not going to do
Yeah.
that, and you have to be very intentional about it. So
Yep.
I uh,
Exactly.
I was basically, ran into the wall enough times that I finally said I'm not going to run into that wall anymore.
Yep, yep, exactly. It's always a work in progress. So you can't be so hard on yourself. So you need to like it's a positive affirmation to like I'm
Mhm.
learning, I'm in working. I'm in progress. I'm learning new things about money. So you have to be kind to yourself. And then sometimes it will take people a long time. So I'm reading through the comments now. William has a couple of stuff. Okay, he said the only way a person can have a regular salary is they are being paid less than the value of their work. Okay, and then he said,
I think
it,
William's an entrepreneur if he says that.
yeah, William. I think he introduced himself earlier. Like, yeah, William, you're a full-time entrepreneur, right? Okay, think about it. How can your boss afford to pay your regular salary when business goes down a bit unless they've been making more for your work than you have? That's
Mhm.
what lets them have. Okay, okay. Thank you for explaining that. Yes, that's right. Okay, this is why I don't want to work at corporate, because like there was someone who did a post like this boss, he's like lying next to his like I don't know this very expensive car, and he said,
Mhm.
"Yeah, this is what I get like for you working hard." And then I'm like, I don't want to work so hard to just make my boss make so much money. I'm like, I want to work hard for me so I can make
Yeah.
more money for me, because in corporate, no matter what, you're working hard so for the top people to your boss to look good so he can get the bonus. And then he's working hard, he's trying to meet his number and then making us work so hard so his boss can look good too, so they can get the bonus. I'm like, I'm just tired of that hierarchy and no thanks. I want to work hard for myself. So
Yeah, that's a pyramid scheme I don't want to be a part of.
yes, yes. Oh yeah, what did you ever work at corporate, Brian?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. When did you quit? Hmm.
So the only true corporate job that I worked was right out of college.
Oh, okay.
I sold wholesale packaging, but after that, I went into businesses where mortgage business specifically, where I could operate under a company and act as an entrepreneur. So I basically
Oh,
built
okay.
a business inside a business, and I worked in insurance after
Oh,
that, building books of businesses, always kind of entrepreneurial.
oh, okay.
I wasn't specifically an entrepreneur, but I operated
Got it.
like one inside those
Yeah.
businesses. So
Mhm.
in around 5 or 6 years ago
Got it.
is when my business partner Jeff and Gavin convinced me to come on board with them.
Got it, got it. So you already had that mindset even like before you were become an entrepreneur. So I think, yeah, I think like some people are just born an entrepreneur. I
Hmm.
just love this. It's like you just have that need. Like I just never felt I belong in corporate. So I think we found our what
Yeah,
we
I found
want
our
to do,
home, our calling, and
our
two,
home. Yes.
I
Uh-huh.
uh, I, I feel just like you. Is like I'm unemployable, right? That's can be a
Who else is
challenge.
who else is unemployable, audience?
Yeah.
Raise your hand. All right. So hello, Lahusin. Okay. Thank
Ah,
you, Lahusin. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Okay. Oh, William. Okay. So hello, Brian. Okay.
hello.
Okay, so William said there's an old adage that says you only need a lid for your crab basket if there's one crab in it. Once you put in a second one, no crab will get out because the crabs that are still in the basket will put them back in. People are like that. They don't want to see others take a chance at their dreams because they're too frightened to do so. Wow, William, you are full of words of
Yeah,
wisdom. I'm
I
gonna
love.
quote that and create a new post and then credit you for that, William. That's actually
Well,
cool. I didn't know that. Like crabs actually pull the other crab back in, like in the crab
I've
basket. I
never,
didn't
I've never, I've never heard that story either. And it makes
know.
complete sense.
Hmm.
It's interesting, is because and this is a whole nother topic for a whole
Hmm.
nother live, is is we project our insecurities onto other people and then judge them based on that. And that's, I think, what William's saying is, you know, people aspire to get out, but all the people around them keep pulling them down to keep them in that basket or whatever that may be.
Exactly, exactly. Because like when I was quitting my job too, like the naysayers was telling me, it's like, no, don't quit because then, but they are like, I have to think about like they are people who are afraid who will never quit their job because
Mm-hmm.
then they want you. They're just talking to you from their place of fear because they're
Mm-hmm.
afraid. They can never leave the steady paycheck. So same, almost the same concept as this. So good job, William. Okay. So wait, where am I now? There's
This
so
is
many
great with
quotes.
all the comments and questions.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
trying
this.
to make sure I read all the comments. Okay, yeah, Elizabeth said your internal story was that you would work hard and not make much money because you saw it with your parents. So how did you change that conversation? So I think you explained that already, right, Brian? Unless you want to
Yeah,
reiterate. Mm-hmm.
I guess one point of clarification is I first had to notice that
Yes,
story was there,
yes,
and
exactly,
then I can make that change. And it's not just about money. Like this
yes,
applies to everything,
yes,
no
exactly.
matter what it is. So to go towards what Elizabeth's asking it was that it was noticing that the story was there, discovering that I'm making up stories and I have the ability and the choice
Mhm.
to change that story and to live into something different.
Yes, exactly. And then yeah, first step is awareness. So actually, like I don't have issues with my relationship with money at all, but I'm also working on other areas of my life. And then like that's why I'm working on a life coach with other areas. And then like the
Mm-hmm.
first step is really awareness. Then you have to like once you're aware, then you can intentionally change your script around that. And then it takes constant awareness because sometimes you just have so much trauma and you're like, okay, especially with people with trauma around money, they're like, okay, then they have to stop and then they have to change. Actually, a good book, Brian. Yeah, the author, he's a financial psychologist. He was a guest on my live stream. His name is Dr. Brad Klontz. So he
Brad
wrote a book
Clones.
called Mind Over Money. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'll have to get that.
I just sent you the link that he
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
guest.
yeah.
He was a guest on my live stream. So he and then I'm listening to him now on Audible because I got 30 days free trial. But it's
Yeah.
mind over money. So he did it. So interesting. He did like a study. So two control groups. He said one control group. He only taught about mindset, everything about mindset. You know, money mindset, money mantra, whatever. And then control B is all about financial literacy, teaching you about savings, about investments, about stuff like that, all practical aspect. And he said after a couple of weeks, I think it was a 5 week study, he said after that, control A saved 70%, control B saved 20%.
That's
So
amazing.
that tells you how powerful we have the right mindset. So actually it was very interesting. And then I'm liking the book so far. I'm just listening to it like, on chapter 4 now. I was messaging him because we're friends too. I said, he has such a soothing, calming voice because he actually is reading the book. I was actually surprised when I
Oh, that's cool.
signed up for it. I was like, that's your voice? They asked you to read, and he was telling me it was a 3 long day of
Oh
reading
man.
because they said they have to keep making him repeat some stuff. If he said something wrong,
Oh.
they make him repeat it. But then it is so smooth. It is like such nice. I was like, I'm just doing so. I'm just listening. Wow, it's such a calm voice. I can like keep listening to this.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
love that because the challenge is like this may sound to people like it's like frou frou and kind of pie in the sky, like oh it's about the story, but we're living these things out
Yes.
every day in our lives, right? This is not
Yes.
some hocus pocus stuff. It's real. You just
Yes.
have to figure out how to harness the power of it.
Exactly. So okay. So May of last year was my May 3rd of 2019 was my last day in corporate job. So May was my first full month being a entrepreneur. So I was
Mm-hmm.
terrified because before that I wasn't making enough to survive. So I wasn't sure can I make enough. But you know what happened? I completely shift my mindset, my relationship. I trusted the universe. I was reading a book like The Universe Got My Back. So I
Hmm.
really shifted everything. So I don't know. In May, I got 10 new clients. I was like
Wow.
so surprised. I was like profitable on my first month. And since I have been profitable, the only time I was not profitable was July of last year. So that was just 1 month. It was summer month because nobody, but everything else it was profit on my first year. So I think I did a great
That's
job.
pretty
Then I don't,
good.
yeah, then
That's really good.
I don't have to go back to corporate. I was like, oh, thank God, hallelujah. I don't have to go back because I told myself when I quit my job, if I'm not making money after 1 year, the worst case is I'm gonna go back to corporate. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to think about that anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
So
no,
I
no,
hope never ever.
not a good
That's why
feeling.
that's why I'm trying so hard. I'm pushing, I'm selling digital courses now. I just launched my LinkedIn course. And then, I mean, that was accidental, like to do LinkedIn coaching because I
Really?
grew so much. And then people start asking me a lot of questions. I'm like, then I can just offer this as a service. And then later on, I said, there's so much similar things I'm teaching my clients through coaching. I said, why don't I just do an online course about it? So it's been successful. I got 20, I have 23 members now in my
Oh,
Facebook group because
wow.
yeah, it includes a Facebook group to for
Yeah.
support, and I drop valuable hints. So, guys, if you're interested in online course, I do have that LinkedIn
And I
connect.
have to say, I've followed you, and you are the real deal. So anybody
Oh,
watching this that do not know you, pay attention because I'm trying to catch up to you.
oh, thank you, Brian. Okay, I appreciate that. So William said, I have been self-employed for 15 years. People still ask me for my help, and sometimes I help, but usually it's for free. I do very little corporate consulting any longer, simply because I'd rather use my brain building my own companies. Yes, your priorities in the right place. Okay,
Exactly.
then he said, in reality, I've been in business for 40 of my 50 years. My parents were too poor to properly feed their 7 kids. Wow, 7 kids! Like only have 3 siblings, one passed away now. I've but then 7 kids. Wow, that's a big family.
Yeah,
If I
exactly.
wanted shoes, then I had to earn them. I had a paper route at 10 years old. In Africa, I spent half of every day either hunting, fishing, or gathering. Wow. So, Brian, how many siblings do you have?
I have one brother. That's all.
Okay.
So
Older or younger?
uh, older. He's about we're the Irish twins, so
Oh,
he's not much. He's about a year or a little bit over a year older than me.
got it. So I'm just curious, like, how's your parents doing now? Because like, it seems like they had problems with money. Like, are they okay now, or?
No, no, no. I mean, and that's
Yeah.
okay. It's the reality of it, right?
Um,
It's they made that choice, and I made mine. I mean, my dad's
mhm.
retired, living on Social Security. He's a simple man.
Oh, okay.
He's doing fine. He doesn't necessarily need for many things,
Okay.
nor want. So he's doing fine. And my mom lives in Tennessee, and she's when she gets money, she figures out how to spend it all the time, and it's
Yeah.
it's challenging
Yeah,
to watch.
that's kind of sad. So hopefully, at least your dad, are surviving on Social Security.
Yeah.
Okay. Heather said, "So many naysayers out there. We need to say goodbye to them."
Yes.
Yeah, Heather's
Bye
actually
bye.
a new client who just purchased my online course. So Heather, thank you. Okay. Elizabeth said there's a lag between the comments and we see them. Yes, Elizabeth, there is a 30-second lag, I think. Like
Mm.
literally when we're talking here, like I see the video in another screen, it's 30
Oh,
seconds. So when you see the comment, is like then when we respond, yeah. So it's a LinkedIn issue. Okay. So Debbie's on. Hi Debbie. What time is
hey,
it there,
Debbie.
Debbie? Is it like late on your end? Thank you so much for joining, Debbie.
Where is she on the East Coast?
She's in Tobago. Like I
Oh,
can't
oh, Trinidad and Tobago.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the time zone? She told me AST. What's AST? I don't know.
Yeah. I never converted
Okay.
that time.
Okay, so let's okay, so I know you said like your business now because of how you grew up on, then you help entrepreneurs now grow their revenue so they can build the lives of their dreams. So tell me more about your program. I know we talk about this a little bit, like for people who haven't, if they want to work with you, like how does your program work? You have many different programs, right?
Uh, yeah, we basically got
Hmm.
three, right? People
Hmm.
come to us in three different stages. One, they're an entrepreneur who are selling and delivering their product. Then
Hmm.
we've got people who they've got a couple employees. They're making a good amount of revenue, and they just need help or support on strategy and tactics to get to the next level. And then the larger consulting is, established businesses that have hit some type of plateau. We help them get over it. So that I run the coaching side of the business on the smaller side. So
Mm,
we do
got
it
it.
in group coaching sessions. So we use a bunch of learning principles where we meet a couple times a month.
Got it.
I've got a training site, which I think you've got too. So we use that to back everything up, and it's literally figuring out where people are and
Mm,
establishing what they need to get to the next level. It's not what we do is not cookie cutter. It's all I put this on LinkedIn all the time. It's mindset over technique. We
mm,
help people develop a way to think about it so they can
mm.
come to their answers, and we help them come to those answers.
Oh,
But
I like that. Yeah,
everybody's different, right?
got it.
And so we've got something that can, if people are looking for a framework
Hmm.
to apply,
Hmm.
and those are the people that like to work with us. People who just want the answer, like we don't tactically do it, right? Like I don't. You come to me and
Yep.
you need more leads, and I say, okay, put together this LinkedIn system, and you run a
Uh,
system.
yeah.
It's kind of like what you're doing. It's coaching. It's helping people think through it, helping
Yep.
them develop some strategies that apply
Yeah.
to them.
Yep.
And we track everything. You're obviously
Mhm.
tracking things. So
Yep.
we develop goals, and clients share it with us, and we hold
Mhm.
each other accountable.
Mhm.
So and then we just launched a product, a strategy product. So we're recording it now. We're doing it live
Mhm.
with a bunch of entrepreneurs, and then we're actually
Mhm.
going to launch it in 2 or 3 weeks, where people can buy a module of sales strategy and
Mhm.
go through it on their own and execute it. So,
Good. Oh, Tom says hi. He's like 12:45 a.m. there. Wow, thank you so much, Tom.
whoa,
You're a late
that's
nighter,
awesome.
huh?
I
Yeah,
know.
I like Tom. Tom always comes and engage in my content and live. So I appreciate it, Tom. Thanks for stopping by.
That's
Um,
awesome.
Debbie said that's a popular Caribbean saying. Do you mean the Gran Canaria? Is that the okay? Okay. So yeah, okay. So yeah, I was gonna say that yes, as a coach, we guide them. So I like the philosophy. I will teach you how to fish instead of fishing for you.
Yeah.
So I always say that. I think like my first business card actually say I will teach you how to fish. So
Oh, really?
but I changed it to something else. But yeah, I maybe I should have add that in my new business card. But I kind of like that. I will teach you how to fish. And then like whenever I talk to leads or prospect, I always tell them, yes, I'm here to teach you how to fish, not to fish for you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the whole goal is like them not needing me, getting them to the point where they don't need me. That's the
Mhm.
overall goal. I'm not
Exactly.
coming up with new products just to
Yep.
sell them. And if I did my job right, they can go on their own and not need me. And uh, I for us, that's the overall goal.
Yep, exactly. So it's like, and that's why for me, like, I'm not afraid of like needing new clients every month. Because actually, like, I love it. I love having new clients because every new client, I get new challenges, new
Hmm.
things to work on. I will never get bored. And then, like, after their sessions are done, 4 or 8 sessions, then it's like, I hope that they can fly free. They can, fly their wings and go on their own because that's the goal. I don't want to hold their hand forever. I mean, there are people, I have two clients who like, continue with me, but mainly because they still want someone to keep them accountable. But we
Yeah,
only meet
exactly.
once. We only meet once a month. But for the most part, most of my clients, I want them to fly free, and they just come here, come back like once a year for me to do their taxes or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like then I'm like, okay, then once a year I can talk to you. And then if they want to buy like big purchase like a house, then they can come back to me. They need to talk to someone. Yeah, can I afford this? Is this a good buy, or like is this a good decision and stuff like that? So yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say what you're teaching them, it applies now, and as they change, the same principles apply. They just adjust it to their current situation, right?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and then whenever I see their tax return, then it gives me a chance. Like, oh, okay, then we can have a chat. And sometimes they might need
Hmm.
another session or stuff like that. But at least like that's like tax will never go away, so they're gonna have to come to me to see me once a year. So that's why I diversify my offerings.
Yeah.
All right, so Brian, so we're almost at the hour. So how can people find you? Where are you? Are you just on LinkedIn? I know you're not on Instagram because I have asked that. So
Now,
where else are you?
I'm developing my Instagram presence, but not there yet. So here on
Okay.
LinkedIn, pretty much everywhere on social media, my handle is my last name, first name. So McDonald
Okay.
Bryan. It's just something that nobody ever chose. So I spend a lot of time here on LinkedIn. I myself have a group on Facebook called the
Okay.
On Purpose Growth Community for entrepreneurs, and
Okay.
they can find us on our website, which is onpurposegrowth.com, all spelled out. I'm pretty easy to find, just like you were saying earlier. I'm not doing as much as you are, but I'm posting daily, so it's not hard to find me.
So I have a question. So you have a Facebook group. Is that a free Facebook group or a paid Facebook group?
Uh, Both. The one that I mentioned is
Oh, okay.
free.
Okay.
We do have clients in a paid Facebook group. It's just
Got
another
it.
way for us to add value. And as since you got a group, you understand this. The groups on LinkedIn, I wish they were
Oh,
better. They're just not. Yeah, they're not great. So you're just forced to go
yeah.
onto Facebook. But
Yeah, no.
it's I love the functionality and the
Yeah.
value that you can bring with
Yeah.
Facebook. So
Actually, I had two people complain to me when they were gonna purchase my online course. It's like, Facebook, I don't want to be a Facebook. Why can't you just do it on LinkedIn? I said, yeah, but LinkedIn groups kind of sucks. so,
yeah, did
so
they did they join the Facebook group?
Um, no, one person did join, but then I told him I can just help him through the direct message, so he
Yeah,
doesn't have to go. So he did, and then the
that's
other one
good.
was like, "Nah, I don't want to go like Facebook, like whatever." So that's okay. But I only had two people who complained.
Yeah.
So actually, I have a question about your face. So you had a free, because I tried to do a Facebook group free before, but then like I could never build an engaged audience for some reason. I couldn't. But now with my paid Facebook group through the online on LinkedIn online course, so people are engaged because I'm giving them valuable tips. So I'm just wondering, like, how do you, like, what's the value of you like doing the free versus the like, how do you use that, you know?
So it's I'll back up and
Mhm.
the I'm inviting people to it,
Okay.
and they fit the prospect profile. So it's not a kind of an open door. They
Okay.
have to request to join, and they have to answer some questions when they request to join. I will send them the link to it.
Got it.
It's a building it quality over quantity. So
Mhm.
there's weeks where people don't join or I didn't send an invite because it's really important to me, the promise that I made to everybody, that everybody is going to be an entrepreneur in a service-based business.
Ah,
They had a corporate job, so they fit a profile,
got
and
it.
then
Got it.
that helps the engagement. But
Okay.
I also am posting and adding content to
Got
encourage
it.
people.
Got it. So what kind of content do you post in the free group versus the paid group?
um, I guess high levels of strategies versus details on how to actually get it done, right? So just
Mhm.
sharing the general knowledge, like, hey, if you're not doing this, maybe start thinking
Ah,
about it. So the other
got
day,
it.
I actually made a video, and it was about. I just shared in the free Facebook group that
Mhm.
if your prospect spends more time talking about your product or your service and not talking about their problem, they're not a prospect.
Ah,
And
got
just
it.
like that, just a quick video like that, right?
Oh,
So you understand the
cool.
thinking, but not
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
necessarily, hey, how do I maneuver
Oh,
through a
got it,
conversation
got
like
it, got
that?
it, got it. And then that's the paid version where you talk more
Hmm.
about. Okay, okay, very cool. Yeah, I just have a hard time navigating between the free and then the paid one. So that's why, like, I tried doing the free and then it just tanked, no engagement. So I just closed my free Facebook group and now
Hmm.
I'm just keeping with the paid one. So I don't know. I just never had luck with group stuff. That's why I just post mainly. I do content marketing and attraction marketing, and that seems
Yeah.
to be working just fine. So yeah. So anyway, so Brian, thank you so much for joining us. I
Yes.
really appreciate it. And then for spending your hour. I hope everyone, learned a lot. And thank you so much to everyone who joined. I really appreciate it. And then yeah, so check out Brian and then I will tag you in the post after because I couldn't
Okay.
tag before, but I'll tag you after. And then feel free to read the comments and stuff like that. And then yeah, so send Brian a
Cool.
connection request. He's always on LinkedIn and or follow him. He always put great posts.
Cool.
All
Thank you.
right,
I
Brian.
appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks for having me
thank
on,
you.
Christine.
Okay. Bye
All righty.
bye.